Alright, since quite a number of people have actually been daring me to get so much done in one weekend, I'm going to do my best to meet the standard and of efficiency that I set for myself. Anyway, so first things first, I've already taken these gearboxes out of this is the 4EAT for an SH, and I'll show you my car that I'm doing this in. This is a SH Forester that I've been using off-road for some 4 years now. It's had a bit of a hard life, but then we replace bits and we upgrade bits as we go. So this is an XT, so hence the dump pipe over there, other bits and pieces over there. This Liberty over here is the one that I'm going to be doing a gearbox mount update on. This here is a 4EAT anyway from that same white Liberty that was just in the background here, but I've done a manual swap on that car. So now the gearbox, I can actually take bits off. Actually, no, come to think of it, no, this is another donated one from an Outback of the same age, same motor, same 4EAT gearbox anyway, but the ratios are different. This one has a 4:4:4 ratio. That one had a 4:1:1. So I'll be taking the pinion shaft out of that one and its front diff from the Outback. I'll be getting this is the gearbox out of my SHXT, which is same gearbox. It's a 4EAT, just differently electronically controlled with Tiptronic and so on. It does have one small difference here and there, but it's internally there's more differences, okay, to do with the gear ratios and so on. And the torque converter, I believe, is slightly different to handle the torque of the turbo. But, I don't need to worry about that for this particular weekend, and I'll get to researching that if I have to down the track. At this stage, this is the center diff end. This is where the center diff goes. This end here, this is the tail housing with the MPPT or MPT center diff. That would just slot straight into there. These gears then would go against each other, and this is the clutch pack at the back here, where it's got a whole stack of clutch packs inside this little crown here, and that there would be what this oil feed goes through to, up through here into the back of the housing to lubricate the tail shaft here. But this actually does have a solenoid in this one here, in this section, directly there, and the solenoid would be actuating the pressure to make that center diff lock or less lock. This is the parking pole and all that business actuator to lock against the teeth here and stop it from park. But the 4EAT I've got in my XT Forester doesn't have that solenoid here in this location. It's actually got an oil feed or pressure feed from the solenoid that's actually in, I believe it's actually in the bottom here, the green one in the bottom of the case here. In this instance, in the older ones, they had a different number of solenoids in there, all through here and here and here and here and here and here, all that sort of stuff. They activate all the gears, of course, and torque converter lockup and all that business. This, in case you're wondering, this is not necessarily the oil feed filter. This is the oil strainer, just to get large pieces of debris and crud out of the oil as it sucks it up into the transmission. The sump itself is just storing oil, or the transmission fluid, the red transmission fluid typically in these. There is no filter on the later models. The earlier models, they had a spin-on filter. They ditched that, and you can even got the little marking in the casing where they used to have one in design, but it's no longer in effect anymore. So these don't actually have a filter at all. The choice is then you've got to keep replacing the fluid reliably to look after it. And they do actually have in the sump pan, I don't have it handy with me at the moment, but the sump pan opposite the plug, it'll have in this indent here, there's going to be a big magnet, a ring magnet that sits there, very strong magnet, and it's meant to pick up all the metallic particles to stick to it, just like we often see in sump plugs. Okay, now just quickly going over this, I'm planning to swap the pinion gear, so I've got to take this nut off. The pinion gear is there. That's the engine side of it. This is where the bell housing, I'll show you here. This is the bell housing. That end of it would go onto the gearbox. More the point, this end would go onto the gearbox. That's what this pinion gear would spin on. Okay, so basically center diff. And this pinion shaft is driven by the pinion shaft, by the center diff clutch. Let me get this right. This is the, so depending on how much the clutch pack actually locks up, it sends more drive to the rear, but it's always spinning this mechanically. That's sending power up to the front, to the pinion shaft, which then drives the front diff. And for me and my car, it's the pinion shaft that was destroyed recently. Not particularly happy, as I wrote videoed recently. There it is, missing a few teeth. Alright, so it all should just unbolt, that nut should just pop off. I should be able to tap that through, pull the pinion shaft out from this end. I've already done the 4 bolts that hold that section in, and the bearing that retains it. I should slide all the way out. There's the shaft through there, all the way through, and I should be able to pop it straight in place of this one. So I'll be able to have the matching pinion shaft for the 4.4 gear, and I'll be putting a 4.4 diff into that housing there. That's from an NA Liberty, which is that car. It's actually from that car, but that's got a 411 in it. I'm changing it for a 444. I'll be matching it with the diff. That's at the back up there, sitting there ready to go, and get the locker installed into it, and the breather case cover on it. Alright, that's enough for now. Much more to do. Talk to you later.